Hi Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'm Susan, your intuitive, and this is your reading for Leo season, August 2025. The first card that so readily, I was looking for the word, readily jumped out is the Emperor. When I was writing down your notes for the astrology, it made me realize how much of your 10th house is getting action, especially for Cancer risings. But either way, this is about confidence. This is about masculine energy. We're going to get more cards on it, but essentially, you may feel very empowered or powerful at this time, or you may be in a powerful position in some way, shape, or form in the role that you play, or your career, or just in this way that your ego's needed it. Your words, your way of communicating right now is very powerful. So if you need to vent to the right person. If you need to let things go, allow yourself that process and what that looks like, and allow yourself not to have so much pressure on it. Because for Cancer risings, having Virgo in the 3rd house of communication brings a lot of healing to that area of your life, or can. And it's so interesting. I didn't even connect the two, but right before I started chatting with you, I do a prayer, I say some words, and then I allow to see what flows in through your energy. And the first thing that came to mind of how grateful I am to people who create mantras that feel very powerful to me, that really move me, or in what I think is how we receive truth on an individual level, it causes an emotional response of some sort. And how grateful and thankful I am to people who are there are times where I do it for myself, but there are people who say things that I feel exactly that I need to hear. You might be one of those people. You might get that compliment or receive that information more and more, whether it's through your own natural instinct or through their word of mouth. It looks like conversations are happening, but this is also coming from an empowered, extremely intuitive place. You may be feeling, if you don't feel exactly like yourself, or whatever that means to you, this Leo season, confidence, joy, and feeling empowered in your decisions will bring you back there. What does that look like? Not feeling obligated, not feeling overly structured by decisions or plans, knowing that there is flexibility in your life. Feeling empowered, feeling worthy enough to realize that you can change plans, because someone may change plans with you, or things may shift around. Communication, it's you learning to roll with that. You learning to roll with that and allowing that to enhance your skills of flow. If there's a skill you want to enhance, Cancer, it's flow. At all times, what's blocking the flow, what's stopping the flow. In other words, what is the blockage? What's in the way of you getting to joy, or you getting to an easeful state? That could be a lot of things, right? That could be, we're talking about the masculine energy right now. And we'll talk about that in a second, but we have 2 cards that also have ego representations. So it's there's a healing perhaps happening with your ego based off of your intuition that formed some kind of, not total identity, but formed some identity around, or formed how you had stepped into the role that you've played, or the person that you show up as. And what you may be seeing now, what may be coming to mind through your heart, is wherever you feel overly controlled, wherever you feel overly attached, and that's something, we talk about, especially in your season. Now we're in another season, right? We've just moved into, today is actually the first day of Leo season. And what's showing up here for you is this understanding of healing through your insecurities and what makes you feel more secure. And now, because you're stepping into and seeing where you may be too under control that actually disempowers you, and where you can actually benefit from a boundary to be flexible in certain areas of your life that will actually shine a light for you to and open you up to more enjoyment or more creation, and feeling like you have some kind of control or power in how you live your life. You don't always have to be happy, obviously, because this is the masculine. We just touched on that. This is the masculine arena. This is how you move in the world. This is how you make things happen. This is what you need to do in order to move forward. And you may have learned that one way, but you realize that's not how you authentically operate. And that has become important to you. And it doesn't matter where it started, wherever it came back to, wherever that area of your life is right now, it's being communicated to you. And, the forms that you can understand. So, what's perhaps going on, right? If you're needing to have conversations, or you're responding different in conversations, that's allowing you to show up differently, right? You're starting to really shift that energy. And maybe there could be an Aries or even a Leo that brings this out of you, whether it's in a positive way or being triggered. And sometimes being triggered by the right person is very beautiful. Even if you don't think they're the right person, it's all about perception, right? It shines a light on something. It could even be from childhood for some of you. And it's transforming you. It's transforming your mind, how you think about how that reflects about how you think about yourself, right? So there has been doubt in the areas that you've been putting energy into, and you may have been doing it for quite some time, so it's very normal. But now there's this different way arriving. It's probably been there, which is this cup over here, and it's being given to you, but it's all about where you're looking. It's all about where you're looking and how you feel about where you're looking. Because someone can show you a sunset, but doesn't mean you're going to feel anything, right? Someone can show you the way, but doesn't mean you're going to feel anything. And you may not. You may have to start walking forward to allow the path to appear. And what it appears to be is that there's an option. That you have options. You may get a few options, whether it's for dating or to make money or another way of living. If you're wanting to learn something new, or, maybe it's just like you had a certification or you had a qualification, but you just have to retake a test, something like that. Either way, it's changing your perception, your worldview. Maybe you travel. Either way, you're receiving opportunities that only just even a month or 2 months ago you thought was going to move a lot slower, that actually quickens, maybe hop, skip, jumps you into a new timeline. No, but it gives you the options, and it shows you, what do you want to be responsible for? Remember, that was the big question a couple months ago. That's the biggest question I was asking every sign, because Jupiter went into your sign. What do you want to be responsible for? Here we are. We're at a place where you have your first checkpoint for the course of the year. And you're being asked this month what you do want to be responsible for with these new opportunities as they come to you, or what is the price? Meaning, how much money do you want to make? How much is this worth your time? Is this worth your time? Can you handle everything that's going on? And that's why, this is the kicker, goes back. That's why the communication part is so important. Because your responsibilities may include more communication than you're used to. And because you've shifted this perspective, you may look back and be very grateful that you had to go through that, especially if it was with an Aries or a Leo. or these people show up in your career somehow, or these people show up, and test your worthiness, right? Maybe even it's old versions of you, whatever is made up in your head. The ability to let it out, to vent, to have it, but not just to do it to perpetuate it, to do it so you can get through, right? Maybe you start to work with someone, right? To help you get through to the point where you're trying to get to, which is that's a way you've been blocking yourself with doubt. When you allow yourself to sit with something that would be more comfortable, right? You're doing it in like a productive way, right? If that's what you need, this is just an example. Then on the other side, if there is any steps forward or something to try, or you come to a solution that you can then carry forward with, take it seriously. Even if it feels very vulnerable, because that's a part of the catalyst to this hop, skip, jump. Right? If you're not with someone and you're meeting people, it's how you're carrying yourself. Actually, I just learned that there's a study, and this is like really extreme, but like predators basically like look at body language. They've been asked, you can look it up yourself, I'm not going to explain the whole thing here, but they've been asked, like, what do you look for? Or they've shown pictures and they don't know that other people are being shown pictures, like for predators who actually go after, victims, they usually pick the same people. So also, I know that's like a very heavy subject, so we're just using that as information right now, right? I have all the compassion in the world if you had to experience something like that, but I'm here just to provide what's coming through and to tell you that this is if you feel like you've been closed off, or you have a hunch, or you carry yourself feeling small, this is your sign. This is your sign. This is your sign to grow big, to let your shoulders down, to make decisions not from doubt, to stop looking to the same people, the same situations to give you a different perspective. You're now really carrying that forward, moving forward. If you're in new dating scenarios, not being afraid to speak up and talk about, even if you fumble, right? Not being afraid to speak up what you're looking for, what you don't know, what you do know, really engaging in this in a way that you feel very confident about who you are, right? Even if you're not looking at long term, they may end up becoming something you weren't expecting, right? They may also allow you to, these experiences with these people that you could be seeing, give you perspective of what you're weighing out. Two of Pentacles. And lastly, if you're with someone, this is about allowing yourself to go through the discomfort, or realizing how much you've already went through the discomfort of even that closest relationship to get to the other side to talk about what you need to talk about, where you're now able to process some things even differently, speak to things differently, share things differently. You may become very attractive to other people where you're not maybe focused on solely your relationship, that it may provide for you other opportunities, or you may find that it's through them, that it's through the connection with your partner, with your significant other, that you find that there are options and choices for you on the other side, or as well as learning to trust one another in like a deeper way. There, you've had the communications, you've had this here and there, but there's this very significant time in your life together that there not only needs to be communication and trust and this constant back and forth, but being able to trust the responsibility of the other, that they will show up, as you show up, because you take that so seriously. And that's okay, and that's a value that you have, and that's even more okay. But you've also realized that through this relationship, through the close relationships, through the one that you've even, the place that you're at with yourself, that the new things that you start trying or doing, you realize like, oh, wow, there's so much more ease here. Let yourself be seen, Cancer. Let's see you. Show yourself if you want. But you may have to like reveal yourself, and there's just like whatever was the story, it's really shifting. So be proud of yourself. This is, you know, the heavy lifting is also about like knowing that things are changed, and having people show you the parts of yourself you don't see, the positive ones too, not just the blind spots that are pointed out negatively, because everyone has an ego, everyone has desires, everyone has attachments, we all do, but some of us experience them at a heightened level. But at the same time, it's like the equivalent of your gifts and your skills in areas. So yeah, all right. Okay, Cancer. Let's keep chatting. All information to work with me one-on-one is below. The Patreon link where we get even deeper into what we were talking about here will be in the link below. That's first, and then website, scheduling, payment options of different kinds of readings that I do. I do astrology, I do tarot, I'm a spiritual life coach. I just love the process of the human evolution, helping people connect more with their intuition, become more empowered, see your soul, all the things, more to come. And yeah, all ways to connect with me also are below. So check that out. Venetian Wave on everything. We'll see you next time, Cancer.